Wait a minute. Oh boy. So the problems of understanding with respect to the multiple laws which define gives the official opinion of the house on the particular budget, which can create multiple, which in ideal situation would help at least creating an image of uh, poor handling of the tax revenue in the mind of the British people, which would maybe help in getting those kind of governments elected which are more benevolent to the colonies. A very, very weak thing, but it is there, which could have acted as carrot in the year 1909. All right, all right. It will be the testament of the method. The method works even after that we can work through and establish what the ICA 1909, the GOR, are all about. Now, so as you can see that I took a break and come back. Now it will be the testament of this method if I was able to make the ICA 1909 just from these concepts, applying these concepts, and then see. All right. So we talked about the second one, that was the budget, in which it was clear that the budget could be the resolutions can be passed on the budget itself, which would mean that the official opinion of the on the budget of the house can be determined. Then we talked about the Indian side of situations. In Indian side of situations, we would be talking about the membership of various positions with respect to the positions as which are equivalent to MPs as the additional members of the Legislative Council. Already 1891, 1892 and 1861 have given enough framework to actually elect them. Now, 1909 actually went out of its way and provided executive council entry to Indians. And the first one was Satyendra Prasad Sinha. All right. Then the positions and franchise. Now, still, it is Indian Councils Act. Still, the way non-official members are nominated is the same. Still, there is no direct elections. So there is no question of franchise, and the membership has been talked about. So third is apparently complete, and we will see if we were able to do it or not. Four is the impact on center and provinces individually and the relationship between them. So we will talk about maybe bicameralism, legislative subjects, uh, diarchy, and all and autonomy level. So the system is still unitary. The system is still unitary. So we can easily write that the system unitary it is still unitary in 1909 as well. Bicameralism has not appeared yet. Till 1909, bicameralism was not seen. After all, the box is still there. And the last is the size. And obviously we will talk about the separate electorate, but it will be in the features of 1909. But as far as I am concerned, there are no other impacts. It was not there. So let me see. I was pretty confident, but still. So the overall size, so then it is the overall size that must have been increased. Size increase is a plausible answer. And now fifth are the features, and the feature that is most apparent is the separate electorate for Muslim people. All right. So on the basis of this, we can say that on the basis of when I'm saying this, on the basis of the problems of understanding, the 5 checklists that I have found, on the basis of this, I can say that this has been done. Now, we move on to the more interesting and more difficult ones. Because these are much more recent and much more in use, it is sort of easier for me. But anyways, Government of India Act 1909, also known as Montagu-Chelmsford Reform. So again, first, as the name is not Indian Councils Act, the difference between official and non-official members is not important anymore. As far as the budgets question is there, here the budget is split. What does that split means? That the central budget and the provincial budget are split. Wait. The doubt in my mind is that, okay, the budget is split here, and there is also a splitting of the central list, central and state list, province list for subject, but autonomy was provided there. So what is happening, right? Yes, it is correct. It is correct. Anyways, so there is a split of the budget. Now the budget of provincial council is not related to the central council. They have their own budget. That would mean their own stream of revenue for which they can govern. The budget is separate. This has happened. So budget and discussion. So budget, this is there. Third, Indians. Oh shit, I wrote it incorrectly. This is not 1909. Did I say 1909? No, this is 1919. 1909. It's my bad. It's 1919, obviously. So, Government of India Act 1919, the third with respect to Indians. Now, this is the first act which provides us with direct elections. First time in India, direct elections will be held, which implies directly that there has been establishment of a franchise. There has been an establishment of franchise. Okay, this has been there. One. Now, the second thing that has happened. So we talked about the franchise. Now the positions. Now 3 Indians should be there in the Viceroy Exec Council. Viceroy Exec Council, basically GG in Council, or what was equivalent to today's cabinet. 3 Indians in the GG Council at least. So basically greater than or equal to 3 Indians in the GG Council. This obviously has to be given by either the Governor General or the official members. Either the Governor General is there, or the sovereign, or the crown. Basically, this has to be given. So we talked about the positions within the British government or the franchise. Both were talked about here. Impact of this act on Senate. Bicameralism. Yes, this time we see bicameralism. But the bicameralism, so ICA, all ICAs, no bicameralism is seen, but bicameralism only in the center. Only in the center. In the provinces, still there is just one legislative council. That is it. Then we talk about diarchy. Yes, the diarchy exists in the provinces. Then we talk about legislative subjects. The legislative subjects, in no ICA the legislative subjects were divided. Now the division has started from the Government of India Act, be it the budget, and now the legislative subjects are divided between center and provinces. Now they are divided. So what about the size? Obviously the size also increased. Key point about bicameralism, obviously there was the establishment of an upper house and the lower house. Both had members which were selected by direct election, which is unlike our today's bicameralism, because the upper house is indirectly elected by the state legislative assemblies elected MLAs. So there is the increase in size. So bicameralism, legislative diarchy, increase in size. What else? Autonomy level. Autonomy level. Budget separate is the only thing that has changed, so we can write the budget. Autonomy is there now. So a little bit of autonomy was provided, and it was due to the fact that number one, World War I was on the face, and they must be subservient. The Indians must be subservient and cooperative. So there is the carrot, and also there was the deadly, legendary Lucknow session just under the AC Majumdar's presidency, in which M&M and M&L, M&M and M&M, actually, that is the moderates, and your extremists or militants and the INC and ML combined together under one thing, and Khilafat and all of that was there. So budget autonomy, so some autonomy, we see some glimpses of autonomy. And then we have fifth, that is features. The number one feature that we will see is the separate electorate for Sikhs, Christians, Anglo-Indians, and Europeans. Secondly, we see a post of High Commissioner. Well, this High Commissioner's post is completely rote learning, because the logic is not special, because the logic is to reduce the load of work from the Secretary of State of India. So, High Commissioner set up in London. Third, setup of federal, or we can say central, Public Service Commission. This was done. Establishment of bodies. Any other thing? Any other body? Any other body? Well, I don't think so. There's any other body, but one thing that is basic. This is a fact that even after what it is, 26 years, the general elections, even after GOI 1935, the general elections were held according to this act, which means that even after 1935's act, 1919's Government of India Act did not stop working. And there is one ancillary, well, I have covered it, direct elections. These were the first one. That is also a feature. And we have covered GOI 1919 just by using this. Again, by using these checks to understand what does impact mean with respect to laws, bicameralism, legislative. You will see that these types of things, that separation of power, division of power, bicameralism, these kind of things are today's basic structure doctrine. So these are concepts which are actually relevant with respect to laws which will give us responsible government. Responsible government means simply whose power is curtailed, and it can be removed by representatives of people, the people themselves. That is what responsible means under the Constitution. And well, yeah, a little bit extended, but yeah. Now GOI 1935, similarly, since name is not ICA, O and NO are not there, it does not matter. Budget, already we have talked about that there has been a separation of budget, so there's nothing to be talked about here. The budget separation is there and discussion is completely full. Now Indians can be talked about with respect to entry and franchise. So entry, there is no changes, because the next change with respect to entry would be provided in the August offer and travel plan. So GR 1935 only franchise, so the answer will be that the franchise actually increased by till 2, not by 2, 10%. So franchise or positions in power. Fourth, the impact bicameralism. Some provinces got bicameralism. And wait a minute, I just cannot jump. Obviously, the size would have increased. The bicameralism in the center was changed. There are a lot of things. I'm just jumping. I didn't know why I was jumping, but hey, the bicameralism in the center was changed because earlier upper house obviously means that there will be in both there were uh, in both there were directly elected members and nominated members, but here the bicameralism at center was changed in the fact that there was, so let's say this is bicameralism, there was an upper house and there was a lower house. Contrary to today's standards, upper house had directly elected people and the lower house had indirectly elected people apart from this that were nominated, and the directly elected people did not have vote of confidence, did not had vote of confidence, but these guys did. So vote of confidence remained with the lower house, but they were indirectly elected. So this is a peculiar thing which can also be considered as a feature of this. Second, division of legislative subjects. Diarchy was abolished. So first we will do autonomy. Diarchy, because it is linked with your legislative subjects division. Diarchy was abolished and full autonomy was given. Now, one thing I forgot about here is in the Government of India Act 1990 was it also was the base for Simon Commission. Based in the sense JEE 1919 had a provision to formulate a commission which would see the working of this constitutional act. Diarchy was abolished, it was abolished, and full autonomy was provided to the provinces. That means the provinces were their own autonomous unit of administration. So bicameralism is there, diarchy is there, where now division of subjects, division of legislative subjects, there was an attempt to bring diarchy at center, which failed. Wait a minute. I have explained diarchy already, but again, I would like to just take a moment. So diarchy, obviously two rule, double rule, that would mean that there will be a reserve and transfer subjects. Reserved subjects were the ones in which the governor was not responsible to the ministers who were elected ones. And the transferred were the ones in which the governor had to listen to the ministers, had to be responsible to the minister, but still had veto power. And When full autonomy was not present, on this oversight was there by the Governor General and his, or the Viceroy and his council, and the Secretary of State. There was an oversight. They could do whatever they wanted. When full autonomy is given, then again, even if these things, so these things or the legislative subjects of provinces are there, then Governor General and Secretary of State cannot interfere. That is what full autonomy means. So attempt to case and it was a failure. Then there was a schedule 7 type division of legislative subjects. Division of legislative subjects. I believe bicameralism, hierarchy, and okay, size increased. Apart from this, there is nothing. Full autonomy explained with respect to GT and SS's oversight. Although there was not this was not there. What existed was the Schedule 7 type situation in which there was state list or the province list and the federal list, etc. Now the fifth are the features. First is the very interesting. Separate electorate. Separate electorate for females, depressed classes, and labor. You can find these type of questions very easily for all three of these. Trying to fragment India as much as possible by doing this. Now we talk about the separate electorate. Yes, then we talk about the established bodies. Obviously, Federal Public Service Commission has been formed, Joint Public Service Commission and the Provincial Public Service Commissions were also formed. There was formation of the RBI. There was formation of our present Supreme Court, which was then known as Federal Court, and there was an attempt to make an Indian Federation, which would have comprised of provinces and state, in which the states means the princely states, and the princely state had to combine to form 50% population, which was not possible at that time, and it never happened. So here it is. We did GOI 1935, 1919, ICA 1909, ICA 1892, and ICA 1861 just by following the problems of understanding. Just the understanding of this, and you can make everything organized. It does not mean that you will not have to remember stuff, but there will be a structure. So the holes can be fixed. It can be repaired. If you completely forget, then it will be easier to revise. That is all. It goes both ways. You can forget, but it will be easier and quicker to revise. On the same hand, it will be easier to repair holes when you are in the question paper, because, for example, you are in a situation in which one question could get you through and you can completely bust open the mains, or one question will decide that you will not get to the next level. So you can take your time. If you find such a question that you believe that if some time was spent, you will completely do it, and these type of arrangements of memory will help you at that time, that the holes can be filled because it was understood. This is the understanding portion, and that is how I believe there must be the mantra for this must be the mantra for preparation. Thank you for watching, like and subscribe. I am so corny, bro, but damn. All right, one session is over. Aha, session is over. Uh, all right, all right, all right. Just two remain. Just two. I don't know, man. It didn't work. Bro, in my opinion, well, it's auto, it's quite nice. I'm not gonna lie, because the flora and fauna is made so well in this game. It is remarkable, really. Shadows are amazing, man. Shadows from ray tracing are unparalleled. This game's forest is amazing. These lighting, bro, it's 3090. Damn, the forest portion is amazing. This guy is playing with a controller, I believe. What the hell? Oh, the puddles, they look so real, bro. This looks real. This looks very close to real. It's, you know what? Why is it just still? First of all, there is a bias that it's a game. Number one, and number two, there is a little lack of photorealism. The post processing by that paper that was mentioning that enhanced photorealism, you won't be able to tell the difference. But still, you cannot. This shot, if you focus just right here, mandems, it is definitely real. You cannot see, but damn. You see this, bro, ray tracing. Ray tracing is OP. This game is so amazing. It's, man, Kingdom Come Deliverance. First of all, that game is not complete, and it's still there is so much to do in that game, though. So much to do. The battles would have been, the potential of that game is unbelievable. Full out medieval battles on the site, being a behemoth, character customization, being a behemoth, killing everybody, being a Viking, and anything from X to Y to Z, hunting, courtship, tournaments, and a great storyline. Everything, and the combat. You can just get lost in the combat, bro. Counter after counter after counter after master strike after counter, just hitting it, and the feeling of that mace hitting the head when there's no headgear, bro. Sadistic satisfaction, bro. Really, really. Anyways, session 2 has started. Alright, what would we do in this session second? I don't have anything else to do. I mean, yeah, I can do Spectrum. Or I can finish notes. Yes, I do have things to do. What am I stupid? Yep. This is the devil mind speaking. Yo, you don't have anything to do. Just quit the stream and play a game. Bruv. Don't listen to this kind of logic. This is the bane of everyone's existence. Bruv. You didn't do factory act, you didn't do this. There is Spectrum remaining. You have got work to do. And it is the reality that you will not get the break. You just came from a fucking break. Damn. Factory acts. Some things that I have been taught by how modern history is asked is by these question papers of the coaching classes. Bro, factory acts, until you specifically see, you won't get it. So the Factory Act, the first Factory Act is Factory Act of 1881. This Factory Act, as far as I remember, it tweaks with the hours anybody can work, the maximum hours. Then it tweaks what is considered as child labor. It just increases that age, as far as I remember that, but nothing on wages. And security is also something I don't know. So Factory Act 1881 was given by Lord Ripon, and it would apply for greater than 100 workers. Greater than 100. 1881, greater than 100 workers. So for him, the child labor was less than 7 years of age. What ridiculous. An 8-year-old kid working in a coal mine, in a factory setting. Damn, it makes me shudder how cruel capitalism can be. And the thing is, this is 1881. This child labor in factories, in sweatshops, still happens. Still. It has been what? 140 years since that. Child labor still exists. Sweatshops still exist. Unrelenting capitalism for you. Unfair, the world is unfair. I'm so privileged and some people are so underprivileged, man. Underprivileged, there is no privilege. Some people don't have any privilege. Non-privileged. Damn. Nobody having destitute in a poor war-torn country. What is that? That the guy has no privilege. And such people do exist. 4-day leave in a month. 4-day leave in a month. From here, I remember last time in the last stream we did something about the morals, and it was clear to me what I had to do, right? And this is one of my plans as well. So basically my plans are long term and short term. Long term plans would entail providing a holistic development for children's education, in which it would entail not only literary or academic excellence, but sports and cultural. In culture, you would have the singing, dancing, arts, photography, whatever they would like to choose. Languages. There are so many languages in India, and rich literature is there that can equip, and obviously apart with this yeah, uh, apprentice work, which would allow apprentice work, that training as well. So basically trades will be taught, so that at the very least there's some scope. A guy cannot read mathematics, something he can run, right? He can then be a coach, right? At one time he can feed, he will have some skills, right? That is one long-term plan. Then short-term plans would be helping the destitute, the poor, get up. Get up in a sense, provide them some kind of working opportunity. How hard would it be to make a pizza, or uh, establishing a shack which provides food, like a langar situation, establishing that, and that would be state run, which would provide food, and then they can work, and it can become a place in which people can come, and it will provide quality food at the end of the day, just teaching them and giving them skills, cooking, cleaning, managing something about those orders, giving that. So different sections of society, different things has to be said. Basically, this is very simple idea that can be applied. Then there is about the nature, environment, seeking if the water level is there. There are many things that can be done, and absolutely applying transparency, absolute transparency. This is what very practical things, like sports can be encouraged by just having a ring, and I will teach basketball, right? This type of stuff. From destitutes of factory acts, this comes, because this was one of the questions that was asked in the UPSC interview recently to one of my relatives who got selected and gave the interview, right? So it is a legitimate question, that what would you do if you actually cleared this exam? What are your plans, basically? Do you have any plans? And yes, especially if you would ask that I am here to do some work, basically. So first of all, the first thing is, whatever the schemes there are great schemes in work. If they're implemented correctly, many people would benefit from them. The first plan is to actually sort out all of those schemes that are lagging behind and getting to work. First plan would do that. And secondly, I would like, these are long-term plans, and there is short-term plans of providing food to destitutes, because destitutes are one of the most underprivileged people, and privilege is something remarkable, really. Now, Factory Act 1881, as I said, had greater than 100 workers. If a factory has, that is a lot of workers, especially then people can just take less workers as well. So there's downsides to both. If the limit is too high, then many factories won't qualify and exploitation would occur. And if limit is too low, then factories won't work and people and employment will suffer. 4-day lease, 7 to 12 a year can work for at most 9 hours a day. Factory Act 1891 by Lansdowne. Greater than 50 workers. So he says for Lansdowne, child labor is less than 9 years. And women don't work at night. And kids don't work at night. And 8 hours a day. Then comes Factory Act 1911, 1881, 1891, and then 20 years later, 1911. For adult male, 12 hours per day, say come. So basically, the amount of time we are spending here, approximately 12 hours, it is in line with Factory Act 1911. Bros, work is hard, man. Work is hard. It's funny. It's just humor. It's just humor. Don't take it seriously. Obviously, I understand factory and working for a team is completely different. I mean, this cancel culture and shit like this, it makes it so hard to have humor, bro. It's humorous. Damn. Learn to take a joke. Laugh sometimes. Don't be serious all the time. Now, we did this. Now we can do foreign endeavors. Or we can do what the females and Dalits did. Because there are some good shit. So there are some tidbits that actually you have to just see it for yourself. There are foreign endeavors. And then I will so basically this, and anything else. Yes, the notes will be complete by this. Yeah, the notes will be completed by this. The notes will be completed. I believe in the 15 minutes I can do this. Factory Act was done. 1881, 1891, and 1911. That I do not understand. There is something in there, but yeah, 7, 9, and then there is 12. So 9 is the limit for kids and for everybody. So before foreign endeavors, let's see the females. The modern Indian history. So Kadambari Ganguly is the first female graduate, and Kamini Roy is the first female honors graduate. Females and their groups. Bharat Stri Mandal, first association of females in India, and it was focused on female education. Sarla Devi. 1917, Women's India Association, Daughters of India. Daughters. Margaret Cousins. Margaret Cousins is a big name. Sarojini Naidu is a big name. Annie Besant is a big name, and Sarla Devi. These 4 names are very, very big when we are talking about women's movement and their associations in the national movement. So the daughters Annie Besant, Margaret Cousin, Sarojini Naidu. The Women's India Association is one of the best associations. Bharat Stri Mandal is the first female association in India. And Muthulakshmi Reddy is the editor of an English journal named Stri Dharma. They were about women's right and voting suffrage. And Stri Mahamandal, no, Bharat Stri Mandal. Bharat Stri Mandal was about women education. No, it was in 1917. 1927, All India Women's Conference. Founders were again Margaret Cousin, Sarojini Naidu, and Maharani Gaikwad. Egalitarian society, first wave feminism. So All India Women Conference. So we have Bharat Sri Mandal, Women India Association, which was just the greatest women's right and voting suffrage. And then we have All India Women Conference. That All India Women Conference by Margaret and Sarojini was first wave feminism. And National Council of Women was just elitist, hefty piece, not about the common women. Advice that is only talking on some issues. So on some issues. First time invited in struggle, 1913, South Africa. First time invited in struggle in India, Rowlatt Satyagraha. Core group of Daniman, originally not invited the females, gave clarion call for females for salt Satyagraha. 17,000 of the 30,000 arrested for salt law were women. Subhash Chandra Bose termed CDM as starting point for female emancipation, asked females to join legislation and panchayat, especially PRIs. So Gandhiji was all about their political. First thing was he invited them multiple times into national or basically satyagrahas, be it in South Africa, be it the Rowlatt Satyagraha, and he asked them to lead the salt satyagraha. 17,000, so more than 50% arrested on salt satyagraha of women. And CDM was seen by Subhash Chandra Bose as emancipatory for women. And he wanted their entry in the legislatures. Dalits, the movement, Nair movement by C.V. Raman Pillai, 1861, Satyashodhak Samaj, and Justice Party movement. This was against Brahman domination. Justice Party movement by T.M. Nair was separate electorate for Dalits. Self-respect movement Kuddiyarasu Journal by Periyar. Mahar movement, Bahishkrit Bharat was written in Marathi by B.R. Ambedkar. Samaj Samta Sangh, depressed class institution, not by B.R. Ambedkar, and SC Federation by B.R. Ambedkar. Congress Harijan movement, so these were the movements. So Nair movement, Satyashodhak movement, and Justice Party movement were against the Brahman domination. And these were in the 1800s and early 1900s. Justice Party movement 1916. Separate electorate for Dalits. Was it Justice Party? So Justice Party is known for that. Satyashodhak Samaj 1873. Yes, this will be seen in the religious and social reform revision. Mahar movement, Bahishkrit Bharat, Marathi by B.R. Ambedkar. Samaj Samta Sangh, Congress Harijan movement. Bahishkrit Hitkarni Sabha, spread education, All India Depressed Class Association, C. Raja. Depressed Class Institution, Depressed Class, All India Depressed Class Congress. Depressed Class Institution, not by B.R. Ambedkar, but All India Depressed Class Association or Congress by B.R. Ambedkar, and Independent Labour Party by B.R. Ambedkar. Communal Award, GOSRSC reservation policy against B.R. B.R. Ambedkar was against Panchayati Raj institutions because they were casteist. Final. Nair movement will not be remembered. Justice Party movement is easy. Wanted separate electorate and they got it. Then the confusion that can be created by depressed class institution and All India Depressed Class Congress. Congress is by B.R. Ambedkar. Foreign endeavors, British did it because to maximize returns and security by expecting natural frontiers, protecting the colony from rival like French and Russian disease. If one session is not enough for spectrum, we can leave it. One session. So basically, last 9 minutes, 9 to 10 minutes. Maybe do these notes, and then we will see what happens. The foreign endeavors of British. This is very heavy. Maximize returns and security by expanding till natural frontiers, protecting colony from rival. Anglo-Bhutan only passes to Assam. Bhutan surrendered in 1865. Nepal, Treaty of Sagali in 1816. Britain got Garhwal, Kumaon, Sikkim, and Terai. Many Gorkhas joined British Army. Great warriors, they say. Burma. British wanted forest market and flip of French. Do you know Andaman Nicobar is an extension of Arakan coast? You didn't know that. I know that. What is Arakan coast? Do you even know? Burma, Myanmar's coast is known as the Arakan coast, with the Arabian Bay of Bengal. So I said Arabians. Damn. Kill me now, right now. Kill me now, right now, right now. I'm going crazy. Treaty of Lhasa 1905. Conflict over Manipur had to cede Arakan. Okay, Manipur. Conflict over Manipur. This is Tripura. This is Mizoram. And Manipur is here. This is Mizoram and Manipur is here. They wanted Manipur. So, alright. Mizo and Myanmar have Chizo. Chizo is the tribe that they share. They're brothers, basically, almost. Had to cede Arakan, Manipur, India. British became trade partner. King Thibault and I British, 1885. So the three wars. First war for Manipur, second war because Dalhousie wanted. So one placeholder, just like Linlithgow, one placeholder just becomes Dalhousie versus Burma. So either way, if you remember this, the second war was caused by Burma. Second, a large two. And there is Dalhousie and Burma, and there is large two. This is the placeholder again, and that will be employed here. So in between, so 1850s, 1820s, mid 1820s, first, 1850s, early 1850s, second, and 1885 is easy because Congress, when the Congress was formed, that is when their nationalist movement started. King Thibault's removal. After King Thibault's removal, Anglo-Afghan. First, Auckland. Now there are two thoughts with respect to Afghan. There's a forward policy and one is the masterly inactivity. Forward policy is employed today by Pakistan and masterly inactivity is suggested to India with respect to this. So Auckland comes with the forward policy in 1836. Annex or treaty with Afghan treaty. No annexation happened. Shah Shuja as puppet by help of six tripartite treaty with Ranjit Singh, Afghan and British. Not Afghan Shah Shuja. Sikh would get some part of Afghan. Forward policy did fail, as people rebelled against Shah Shuja and slaughtered British as well. John Lawrence had the master in activity, and Lytton was the proud reserve. Safeguard sphere of influence. Inactive till peace, at frontier in civil war, does not seek foreign help. So Lytton extended the boundary by a bubble of influence, and it was done by Treaty of Gunmark, 1879. All right. So, battle for the conquest of India. So, Burma, Tibet, Afghanistan, Burma, Tibet, which is a very large area, and Nepal are the things that you should know. 1836 and India portrayed on 1879. Maybe I will remember, maybe I will not. Probably I will not. But anyways, area slash region. Battles for conquest of India, Bengal, Battle of Plassey, Shuja-ud-Dawla versus British, Fort William, Battle of Buxar, Huge L, Mir Qasim versus the British, Dastak misuse, on the misuse of Dastak. Dastak was an instrument which allowed tax-free movement of goods. Was used by officials to escape taxes for their personal business that they did, which is obviously a form of corruption. Alright, this India portion will be done tomorrow. See you tomorrow. Tomorrow we will see each other. Yeah, we did it. We did 11 hours today. We did 11 hours today. End story. Bye. Boom.